Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm taking you with me during my CCR Fundamentals course to give you an inside look into what this course really is about. So let's dive right in. I just completed the GUE CCR Fundamentals course with JP Bresser. And honestly, it was way more intense than I expected. But instead of showing you what we did day by day, I want to show you what this course is really about and what actually makes it challenging. The CCR Fundamentals course by Global Underwater Explorers isn't about learning how to dive with breathers. It's about control, awareness and consistency, and doing everything in a very standardized way. And that's something you start to notice immediately. From day one, we spent a lot of time on theory and building the unit. And that might sound basic, but this is where the mindset starts. Everything has to be precise. Not good enough, but exactly right. Because later in the water, that precision is what keeps everything under control. Once we got into the water, that's where things really changed. The hardest part for me wasn't learning the skills themselves. It was buoyancy, trim, and especially finding a comfortable breathing pattern on minimum loop volume. On open circuit, your breathing directly affects your buoyancy. On CCR, that relationship changes. You either need to control your loop volume or adjust in a completely different way. And that takes time to understand. And in the beginning, it just feels off. At the same time, your task load is extremely high. You're trying to remember procedures, monitor your PPO2, stay in position, and think about what's coming next. And honestly, in the first dives, I caught myself forgetting things I literally just learned. That was one of the biggest realizations for me. This isn't just another diving course. This is a completely different level of mental load. One of the best examples of that was during the bailout drills. The steps themselves aren't complicated. But underwater, with everything else going on, I noticed I started mixing them up. And that's exactly where the training comes in. It's not about knowing the steps, it's about being able to execute them correctly, every single time, without hesitation. Another big difference was buoyancy control, because your breathing doesn't affect your depth in the same way anymore. You can't rely on habits you've built on open circuit. And that forced me to really rethink how I control my position in the water. Throughout the course, we kept adding more complexity. Ascents, DSMP deployment, cache sharing, and individually, none of these things are very difficult. But combining them while staying stable, aware and controlled, that's where it becomes challenging. And something that really stood out to me was the feedback from JP. He kept saying, dive more and don't use your hands. And it sounds simple, but it says a lot. If you need your hands, something else isn't right. Your trim, your buoyancy, your control, it all has to come together. Another mistake I noticed, not just with myself, but also others, was rushing. Trying to do the exercises too quickly instead of taking the time to do them properly. And that's where you lose control. Slowing down actually makes everything easier and more controlled. By the final dives, things started to come together. Not perfect, but more controlled. And that's the key difference. Because CCR diving isn't about being relaxed and doing nothing. It's about being actively aware without being overwhelmed. And I noticed that shift in my own thinking as well. In the beginning, my head was full of, I'm doing this wrong, I need to fix that, this isn't good enough. But towards the end, it became more structured, more controlled, less panic and more awareness. And that's when things started to feel right. What surprised me most is how mental CCR diving is. Physically, it's not that demanding. But mentally, you're constantly running checks in the background. And if you lose that awareness, things can go wrong very quickly. At the same time, it's incredibly rewarding. It's quiet, it's precise, and when everything comes together, it just feels right. But it's definitely not something you just try for fun. It requires discipline, consistency, and a willingness to really learn the system. So if you're considering the GUE CCR Fundamentals course, don't expect it to be just another diving course. It's a mindset shift. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And let me know in the comments what kind of video you'd like to see next. Don't forget to check out the links in my description for my other social media pages and more information about the GUE CCR Fundamentals. And as always, dive safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.